Temple of Vedic Planetarium, the urgency, the need, and the mission 22, when we wanted to open this temple for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. So now Shivaram Maharaj wants His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj to speak first, so he will go first. Maharaj, you will be second.
Hare Krishna. Om Agyan Tivrandasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurmritanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manavestam Savitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadi Swapadandikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivajade Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram. In 2014 and 15, we had a program similar to this. Several senior devotees got together and spoke about the glories of the Mayapur project and the need for all of us to participate in developing this project. So I suggested to Raj Vilas the other day, why don't we have a similar program now? So the purpose of this program today is to increase the awareness and the importance of all of us participating to complete the Tovp project in time. What's our deadline? 2022. And how many years are left? 3 years. You don't have a lot of time left. Only 3 years. So we have to go on a real marathon to increase the awareness and the urgency of this project. Prabhupada has a great desire to build this temple to fulfill the desires of the previous acharyas. Lord Nityananda explained to Jiva Goswami of this Adbhut temple, inconceivable temple that will be built in future. And Thakur Bhaktivinoda, who re-established the pure teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, had also made an important prediction. He had predicted that very soon a powerful Serapati will appear who will take Lord Chaitanya's message to every corner of the globe. And he also predicted that the holy name would be chanted in different parts all over the world. And a day would come when devotees from several countries, and he named them, would come to Mayapur Dham and along with the local devotees chant and dance. So Srila Prabhupada, as we know, was instructed in 1922 to take Lord Chaitanya's teachings to the Western world. And after struggling for nearly 40 years, Prabhupada finally made it to America in 1965. And then he returned to India after establishing Krishna consciousness in the West in early 1971. In 1971, Prabhupada was in Calcutta, and he sent two of his very senior devotees, Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Bali Madan. And incidentally, today is also the disappearance day of Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Tamal Krishna Maharaj ki. He rendered a lot of personal service and very valuable service to Prabhupada. So Prabhupada was in Calcutta, and he sent Tamal and Bali Madan to Mayapur. And for 6 days, there was no news. These days, almost everybody has a cell phone. But those days, in India, communication was not as good as today. Even having a telephone at that time was considered a rare thing. So Prabhupada was waiting for information because he had sent Tamal and Bali to buy land. And for 5 days there was no news. And Prabhupada was in real anxiety. Did somebody rob them? Did they get cheated? Did something unpleasant happen? Then on the 6th day, in the night, Prabhupada heard some devotees coming up the staircase. And who was it? Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Bali. They had, with the assistance of a lawyer from Calcutta, negotiated the purchase of the first land for ISKCON. And Tamal told Prabhupada, this land is yours. And Prabhupada was very pleased and told them to go and take rest there. So in 1971, the first piece of land was obtained. And as you probably know, in 1972, the first Mayapur festival was held, in which nearly 50 devotees participated. So Prabhupada had this great desire to fulfill the prediction of Nityananda Prabhu and the desires of the previous acharyas. Bhakti Siddhanta Ji had also endeavored to fulfill that desire. He sent his sannyasi disciples to England, but they came back without much success. So Prabhupada wanted an outstanding temple and a planetarium. And he wanted it to be a Vedic planetarium because Surab once took a design to Prabhupada and said, we'll call this Temple of Understanding. And Prabhupada said, no, it should be Temple of Vedic Planetarium, where he wanted everything to be based on the Vedic explanation. So Prabhupada had this great vision. He had a very strong desire. He laid the foundation stone. And finally this project got started. And as you can see, it has come to this stage. Now, we have 3 more years left and a fair amount of work left. So how will this be realized? We all know this project was very, very dear to Prabhupada. Once Giriraj Swami was with Prabhupada in Calcutta, and Giriraj asked Prabhupada, what will please you the most, Prabhupada? And then he himself volunteered the reply. I think you'll be very pleased if we do book distribution and help build the Temple of Vedic Planetarium. And Prabhupada smiled and said, yes, you have understood my desire. So these were Prabhupada's desires, that we expand the preaching through book distribution and also help construct this Vedic Planetarium. Prabhupada said, just like all over the world, people talk about the Taj Mahal. We are going to India to see the Taj Mahal. So he wanted the Temple of Vedic Planetarium to become more popular than the Taj Mahal also. He wanted the Temple of Vedic Planetarium glories to be known all over the world. So with the assistance and leadership of Amrish Prabhu, we've come this far, but still there's a big challenge ahead of us. We were talking the other day, I believe in Delhi, and still a lot of effort has to be done. So 1922 is our deadline. And this deadline can only be realized if every devotee of this Krishna conscious movement endeavors and works hard to make this possible. We have to become Mayapur's ambassadors and promote the Vedic Planetarium in every temple. One way could be we had a nice poster and we had that poster displayed in a prominent place. Then everyone coming to the temple will naturally see the poster and inquire, what is this Vedic Planetarium? And so Mayapur's awareness is increasing. but it has to increase a lot more. Mayapur is very important to the Krishna conscious movement. Prabhupada said, like Mecca is to the Muslims, Vatican to the Christians, Mayapur is similarly important to the Vaishnavas. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described as the most merciful of all incarnations. So we all have to endeavor together to work hard to realize this. And if we sincerely endeavor, the impossible can become possible. The target ahead of us is very challenging. Can I tell them what the target is, Amrish?
Yeah.
They have spent about 350 crore rupees already, but in order to complete it fully, they need another equal amount. So
That's everything.
that's everything. Yeah. And just for the opening,
Huh?
and if you just were talking about the minimum for the opening,
Yeah, we want to first stage one get the deities moved in.
phase one is for the deities to move. And the deities, you can imagine, you'll have the Guru Parampara on the left, Panchatattva in the center, and Radha Madhav and Asasakis on the right. So the goal is to have the deities move to their new permanent final residence. Radha Madhav has had quite a few residences, not as many as Radha Parthasati had in Delhi. But this will be the final residence of the Lordship. After all, these temples are built for the pleasure of the Lord. And the purpose of this temple is to attract people from the whole world. Prabhupada said that in numerous letters. The purpose of this temple is to attract people from the whole world to Mayapur Dham. And we have seen that anybody who comes to Mayapur Dham gets very, very inspired by the environment. Recently, Devakinanda Prabhu brought some big industrialists from Bombay, and they were very impressed by the Mayapur project, the environment, etc. So just imagine how impressive it will be once the Tovp is complete. So it's a big challenge for all of us. One never becomes a loser in serving Krishna. In the 10th canto you read how that fruit, the lady selling fruits, she gave her fruits to Krishna, being attracted by the Lord's beauty. And when she looked back, what did she find? Apples made of gold. In Chaitanya Mangal you read the story. The Lord Chaitanya, after taking sannyas, was racing ahead and he felt thirsty. There was a person selling buttermilk. Lord Chaitanya took that whole pot and drank the whole buttermilk. And then he said, the seller said, okay, paisa, money, money. The Lord said, I don't have any money, but my colleagues are coming behind me. They'll give you the money. So when Lord Nityananda came there, the seller said, your colleague drank all my buttermilk and said, you will pay for it. And Lord Nityananda said, we also don't have money. So the seller said, okay, tell him this was my donation. Now I'm going home. So he tried to lift this pot that he thought was completely empty. But when he tried to lift it, it was so heavy that he couldn't move it at all. So he was surprised. What happened? I thought it's empty. So he looked inside. And what did he find? The whole pot was full of diamonds, jewels, etc. So we don't guarantee that if you donate to Tovp, You also have a big stack of poo. But one thing's for sure, you're never a loser in serving Krishna. So let us all work together and work hard to realize this project's completion by 2022. Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namaha. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You should have said they would get pots full of diamonds. Who knows? Spiritual diamonds.
They're invisible, but it's in your bank account.
They're invisible, but in your bank account. Hare Krishna. I always meditate on Temple of Vedic Planetarium on Hungarian Yatra. We always have the pictures on the altar, so you can't get away from it. You're looking at the deities. You're also looking at Tovp. And till some years back, one very fundamental or very important feature of Tovp is that it really establishes the authenticity, validity of our praman, or protects it, namely Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam speaks about many pastimes, many leelas of the Lord, but it also speaks about this extraordinary cosmology, or the structure of the universe. And it's a structure of the universe that, welcome. It's a structure of the universe that, that isn't what scientists see today when they study this cosmos around them. In fact, they see something very, very different. They certainly don't see elephants holding up Bhumandala. They certainly don't see oceans of ghee and milk. Now, ultimately, how do you reconcile the validity of what's actually seen and what Srimad Bhagavatam says? It has to be reconciled in one way, and our team, I assume, is actually working on that, as Sariputta Prabhu was, I think, the first person who correlated distances and concepts between the two. And it's important because Bhagavatam is the basis of everything that we do. And if something that's so obvious to the eye, falls afoul of, or what Bhagavatam says falls afoul of what's obvious to the eye, then what about the rest of the things? What about Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam? What about Yagya Sankirtana prayer? And so many statements. The Sambandha, the Abhideya, the Prayojan of Bhagavatam comes into question. So Tovp in that sense is extremely important in order to maintain the integrity of the teachings of our Sampradaya. And beyond that, in terms of the displays inside, this is of course going to be one display manifest in the chandelier, is the main theme of progress. As guests walk up and up through the dome, they see the journey of Gop Kumar. And that's quite a significant thing, because ultimately the journey of Gop Kumar is how you put Srimad Bhagavatam into practice. How does it happen? And what are the possible stages, at least the stages of spiritual development, not necessarily the stops that Gop Kumar made. We don't, let's say, have to go to the realm of liberation, Mahakalapur, or go to Vaikuntha. And what is ultimately the destination that Srimad Bhagavatam directs everyone to, which was to Goloka Vrindavan, to Braj. And what is the sadhya? What is the goal of devotional practice? Well, prem. And for who? It's for Gopal, Krishna. So these things are there in that journey of Gop Kumar, and I don't know who's read Brihad Bhagavatamrita amongst Vaishnavas here. Not that many, but it is the Amrita, it's the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. And to be quite frank, when I read it, I've read it now 5 times, and this is the BBT version of Brihad Bhagavatamrita, which I highly recommend. It's extraordinary publication, very beautiful. You're really hard-pressed to actually figure out from the Bhagavatam what Brihad Bhagavatamrita says, or to figure out the essence of the Bhagavatam in the way that Sanatana Goswami describes it on your own. But here it becomes very, very clear. And TOVP is also meant to actually make that journey very, very clear. Where are we meant to go? What are the stages that we really need to get through in order to get there? And how important actually is the study of Srimad Bhagavatam for that purpose? Because when Gop Kumar got to the stage of liberation, which you can get to just by chanting Hare Krishna, and of course he wasn't chanting Hare Krishna, but he was chanting Krishna's names. He was chanting a Gopal mantra. But till he couldn't get any further than that. Why? Because he actually didn't fully understand the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam, and he had to come back to Vrindavan, had to come back to earth, and under the guidance of qualified Vaishnavas, hear the Bhagavatam. And then he was able to actually chant in the way that you need to chant in order to keep on going, which is you have to be able to chant with love, or at least with real emotion. So the ultimate importance, Nama Sankirtananyasya, the method by which that sadhya or that perfection is attained, that also is being sung by this journey of Gop Kumar. And of course, Harinama Eva Kevalam. It's chanting Hare Krishna, because ultimately that is what Gop Kumar just did. He just simply depended on that mantra, which is very, very simple in one sense, but at the same time, when we see what Srila Prabhupada seemed to indicate to us, that you need to take this journey very seriously and see what he did. Because it's very easy, but at the same time, some of our older members, such as myself, has noticed that it's not so easy. And there are certainly challenges along the way, but still, by the offenseless chanting of that holy name, then everything will come. As Gop Kumar's guru told him that Yat Yat Sankalpa Bhovatsya Nija Mantra Sanihitam. You just chant your mantra and you will get perfections beyond your imagination, beyond your conception. And that was the case. So we need to actually establish TOVP, and as we do, it's also an inner journey for us. It's not just a building, it's the largest preaching tool and investment that this Krishna consciousness movement has made, and it will have extraordinary potency to convince the world about Srila Prabhupada's gifts to us. Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava Sakhi Brinda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Panchatattva Ki Jai. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militang Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtham Sthapitang Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gatamayham Dadati Swapadantikam. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It was very wonderful that Gopal Krishna Maharaj gave the history of Mayapur from the very beginning, how His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Bali Mardhan Prabhu came and procured the piece of land. It was a big challenge because some individuals here in Mayapur didn't want Prabhupada to come here. They didn't want to give any land to ISKCON. And as you know, Tamal Krishna Maharaj was a real go-getter. When he accepted some challenge, he just went all the way through. So he procured the land, and Gopal Krishna Maharaj very systematically analyzed like how it took him 5 days, and Prabhupada was in acute anxiety. They came here in Mayapur, just two Americans with a lot of money, and there was no communication whatsoever. And then finally when Tamal Krishna Maharaj went, and it was literally a victory for us that we got the piece of land. And that's the piece of land where Srila Prabhupada's Bhajan Kutir is today. And then Gopal Krishna Maharaj just gradually pointed out how ultimately it came to the Temple of Vedic Planetarium. And then Shivram Maharaj actually pointed out the objective of this Vedic Planetarium, why it is so important. Because it's going to show everybody what Krishna consciousness stands for, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings are. That Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the worshipable Lord. Aradha Bhagavan, Brajeshu Tanai. And that is what has been very wonderfully described by Sanatana Goswami through his Brihad Bhagavatamritam. Yes, Maharaj pointed out that Brihad Bhagavatam is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Vasudev gave the perfect spiritual understanding leading all the way up to Vrindavan. And Sanatana Goswami, for our understanding, very wonderfully, step by step, he took us through the journey of Gopkumar. Thank you, Maharaj. Very beautifully described it. The purpose of the Vedic Planetarium. Srila Prabhupada took up the mission of spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world, according to his spiritual master's instruction. First instruction, practically. First and final instruction. take the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and spread it all over the world through English language. English language because English is the language of the world today. And therefore Prabhupada put so much emphasis on his books. He was continuously writing. Even when he was just a householder devotee, he was writing. Any opportunity that Prabhupada got, he just took that opportunity to present Krishna consciousness. In 1948, there was an editorial in an English newspaper called Amrita Bajar Patrika. And the editor there mentioned that although India got its freedom, India got her freedom, and everyone thought that after they got independence, everything will be so wonderful. But it seems that even after getting the independence, the problems didn't go. Like the problems are always there. And he used an expression, it seems that in the dispensation of providence, mankind cannot have any rest. Srila Prabhupada just took that expression and he just kept on hammering on that. In the dispensation of providence, in this material nature, mankind cannot have any rest unless and until he takes to Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada knew to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, the books are essential. Because through the books, one can spread the philosophy, the message, and the objective. But then when Prabhupada went to America, we see that the first thing that Prabhupada actually wanted is to establish a temple. His movement started when he got the 26 Second Avenue. And that was actually our first temple, the first temple of ISKCON in New York, in Manhattan. And it started from there. And then Prabhupada was looking for various properties. He came across a nice multi-storied building. Those days it was costing $100,000. And those days $100,000 was a lot of money. And Prabhupada was trying to negotiate with his contacts in India, the wealthy contacts, Singhaniyas and others, and requesting them, please help me get this temple. And he was inviting his godbrothers to come. He knew that they won't be able to come up with the money, but he expected that he would come and give him the support. But none of them, neither the Indian, rich, wealthy Indians, no matter how pious they may have been, nor his godbrothers did not extend any help. But then we see what Srila Prabhupada did. One after another, Prabhupada kept on establishing temples. From New York, San Francisco to Los Angeles, Montreal. And in this way, Prabhupada just kept on establishing one after another temple, and within 10 years' time, he established 108 temples. And while establishing the temples, Prabhupada also felt the burden that it will assert on the devotees. The responsibility of maintaining a temple is not easy. And Prabhupada emphatically told that don't consider that your Guru Maharaj is giving you some responsibility, some burden. Like, why? Because Prabhupada saw to establish the movement, temples are essential. Even the Mayavadis, impersonalists, those who don't believe in the form of the Lord, even they have temples, they build temples. Although they don't believe in the forms, when they establish a temple, they have to establish the deity. Because according to the Hindu understanding, Vedic understanding, there cannot be a temple without the deities. Because the temple is an extension of the spiritual world. Especially Krishna temples are the extension of spiritual world. In that respect, Prabhupada gave the example, just like we have the embassies in different countries. And the embassies are actually the extension of that country. And similarly, the temples are actually the extensions of the spiritual world. Krishna's dham becomes manifest in the form of the temple. And in a way we can say that there are embassies and there are consulates. The embassies is the central presence of the country. And the consulates are the extension of the embassies. And if we consider the different temples that have been built by ISKCON all over the world, incidentally, I want to also mention that we can very easily consider that this Krishna consciousness movement is growing in spite of everything. ISKCON is growing. The clear indication of that is when Srila Prabhupada left the planet, there were 108 temples. Today, all over the world, we have more than 600 temples. That is the clear indication of ISKCON's progress. Although Srila Prabhupada left the planet, but Srila Prabhupada established this movement in such a way that it is effectively and successfully growing all over the world, fulfilling the prediction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as I was saying, if different temples of ISKCON are the consulates, Mayapur is the embassy. Because this is the place where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. This is the place where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed his wonderful pastimes. Therefore, Prabhupada was so concerned that this wonderful temple, Adbhut Mandir, that has been predicted by Srila Nityananda Prabhu, by Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur will become manifest. And Srila Prabhupada gave that responsibility to Ambarish Prabhu. Ambarish Prabhu those days was a big achievement of ISKCON. Henry Ford's great-grandson. And even today we see that wherever Ambarish Prabhu goes, and just his identity, Henry Ford's great-grandson, it carries such a tremendous effect. People automatically become attracted and consider the validity and authenticity and the effectivity of Krishna consciousness movement, ISKCON. And eventually, actually I can also want to say that Ambarish Prabhu is a very humble person. He's a very humble person. He doesn't want to come in the forefront. He always prefers to be at the background. And I mean, I'm fortunate to know Ambarish Prabhu for last 39 years. And I've seen that anyway. I don't want to go into the details. Whoever knows Ambarish Prabhu knows that you know how humble he is. But we can see that how Srila Prabhupada is inspiring him, made him take up the responsibility. He didn't really come forward thinking that, oh, I am not really qualified to take up the responsibility of such a big assignment. But we can see that how eventually Srila Prabhupada pushed him to take up the responsibility. And we are seeing how under his leadership, the temple of Vedic Planetarium, the Advut Mandir, the wonderful temple that had been predicted by Nityananda Prabhu and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, is becoming a reality today. At least we are confident that in year 2022, the inauguration of the temple is going to be. Panchatattva is going to move into their real home. Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir, also known as the Temple of Vedic Planetarium. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Yeah, please.
Prabhupada wanted Indira Gandhi, who was the Prime Minister at that time, to come and be present for the foundation laying stone. And assuming and hoping that Mr. Modi wins again, we're very hopeful and confident that we can bring him here in 1922.
Haribol.
Prabhupada wanted the Prime Minister.
There is also a possibility that Prince Charles of England may also come.
No, we don't want him.
No.
नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पार्षदस्थानी. आज श्रील भक्ति स्वामी महाराज described Ambarish Prabhu is very simple, very humble. When many years before I first saw Ambarish Prabhu, he got involved with Mayapur because of Tovp. When I saw him, I have to think, such a simple, humble person, how he's managing such big things, food company, I could not believe it. Then I was thinking, because he has become devotee, so he has developed nature like this. But one thing I have observed, he may look very simple and humble, but is very firm and determined. Very firm and determined. In his decision, in every respect, very firm and very determined also. Long before, when I used to discuss with Ambarish Prabhu about Mayapur, he would repeatedly tell one thing, Maharaj, when Tovp will be ready, he used to give an example of high tides in ocean. When the high tides comes, everything will go up automatically. And that we can see now, as more Tovp manifesting, so many nice symptoms. Also, we see to develop the city, all these favorable situations are created. Very interesting now to know that Prabhupada wanted, that he has predicted, one astrologer has predicted that this boy has quality, that he will build a house where whole world can live together. And it has been translated into reality. In Mayapur now we have devotees from 60 different countries. Yes. And disciples of more than 50 gurus. So Prabhupada has really created the united nation of the spiritual world here. Just imagine, in whole India, we have any place, any institution, where 60 countries people living together. It's not so easy. Prabhupada has made it possible. And one interesting thing is, we have been hearing that many devotees, not many devotees, almost everybody would say, will it will be possible that we will see in our lifetime this Tovp? Most of us would think like that. When Tovp has not started, we just hearing so many planning, then again and again cancelled, then so much money spent. So everybody worried. In our society going through so much hurdles, problems, will there any time in your lifetime we can see this TOVP? Even after TOVP work started, still people are thinking, oh, work has started, but because budget is very big, will you see this in our lifetime? But now we see, Maharaj said, we have spent 350 crores and more 350 crores we need. Ambarish was saying, but to move deities there, all we need only 52 crores. It's possible or not possible? It will be possible if each of us, at least we sponsor 1 square feet before we leave Mayapur. Every year 10,000, 15,000 devotees come. So I know many devotees are going to that office and putting money. Ambarish Prabhu used to say that devotees have lost faith that we can build this temple. That is the reason why he put forward some good amount of money that people will understand, yes. When we start something, then people will join. And we can see now that is happening. Devotees from all over the world, they are joining their hands, and this nice temple is manifesting here. So, this is our responsibility, because Prabhupada gave order to his disciples, and all Prabhupada's disciples, they very much want, before they leave the planet, this temple should be completed. How many Prabhupada disciples are here? See, how many? Only few. So all are next generation's devotees. So this is our responsibility to make sure to help Prabhupada disciples so that this temple manifests as soon as possible. So when they will all go back to Godhead, meet Prabhupada, Prabhupada will ask, what have you done? Prabhupada, we have fulfilled your desire. We have fulfilled his desire. So Prabhupada has handed over us great personalities, like all these people sitting here and sitting on down also. So greatness of Prabhupada. What is greatness of Prabhupada? It has been stated, the briksha of phale parichayate. The tree is recognized what kind of fruits it has. So Prabhupada glories, these people are the glories of Srila Prabhupada. How nicely they have managed the society. Just imagine, when Prabhupada left this planet, what was Mayapur that day? How many devotees, how many buildings, what was happening, how many pilgrimages? And just see, because of that his disciples are so empowered, and what has happened? So they will give a very satisfactory answer to Srila Prabhupada. And also, we should work so nicely, so cooperatively, so that Prabhupada will get a message that his society is handed over to the good quality people, so that there is hope the society will continue for next 10,000 years. Of course, Prabhupada has said that will happen definitely. Said. So in this way we have a very big responsibility, and we pray their Lords Sri Radha Madhava, Ashtasaki, Panchatattva, Narsingh Bhagavan, to empower us so we can all work together. Panchatattva Abhishek we did 1 week before, Mahabhishek. So this will be the last Mahabhishek for Panchatattva under the tin set. No more Mahabhishek under the tin set. He will go to very luxurious temple there. And that temple can accommodate 10,000 devotees sitting together and doing kirtan. So next Mahabhishek will have there 10,000 devotees will comfortably sit. Just imagine what will happen then. So I don't want to take more time, because Maharaj sitting will give conclusive lecture, Ambarish will speak. So thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. 2022 is the day we are all praying Shri Radha Madhav and Narsingadev Panchatattva will be welcomed into their new home. It is the 100th anniversary year of when Srila Prabhupada was first given the instruction by his Guru Maharaj to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. On a rooftop in Ultadonga Junction Road in Calcutta, on a rooftop, Srila Prabhupada received this instruction. It was the seed of the Hare Krishna movement. Taking the word of his Guru Maharaj as his life and soul, Srila Prabhupada traveled to New York City. Before leaving, there's a famous story of when Srila Prabhupada was in Shantipur, and he told the pujari there that my Guru Maharaj has given me an impossible instruction. When Srila Prabhupada was on Jaladuta, no money, he didn't know anyone. Prabhupada said when he was in New York, he had no money, no means, and he was practically wandering like a vagabond. Srila Prabhupada was praying to Krishna. Only if you give me the words will these people understand. And after about a year of struggle, there was a little storefront on the Lower East Side of New York, 26 Second Avenue. And just a few followers who really didn't even know exactly what they were following. But when Srila Prabhupada talked about a movement, they were thinking the movement is us in this storefront with Prabhupada. But Srila Prabhupada, in the corporation of his society, he called it the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And everyone was thinking, this is impossible. They didn't even know among all of them how they would pay the next month's rent at 26 Second Avenue. And Prabhupada's talking about temples all over the world and farm communities and schools. But because the devotees, many of them here today, they took Srila Prabhupada's instruction as their life and soul. Srila Prabhupada empowered devotees to actually establish a worldwide movement. And we heard about His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami when Srila Prabhupada sent him for an impossible task to get land in Mayapur. And he did. He took the order of his Guru as his life and soul. And after a little time, there was a tiny straw hut near the road here in Mayapur. There was no money, there was hardly any people, there was a lot of snakes. In the monsoon season, everything was flooded. From that little straw hut, Srila Prabhupada proclaimed, this will be our international headquarters. From that little straw hut, which was a cheaper situation than 26 Second Avenue, Srila Prabhupada said that we will have this temple of Vedic planetarium. And the devotees thought, this is impossible. But at the same time, we had faith that it is possible. But how it's going to happen, we had no clue. And it was in Detroit, I believe 1976. Ambarish Prabhu had just helped arrange to get a wonderful temple. And Before the temple was even established or opened, Srila Prabhupada was sitting in his room with Ambarish Prabhu. And out of nowhere, Srila Prabhupada told Ambarish Prabhu, I want you to help to lead the building of the Temple of Vedic Planetarium in Mayapur. That parampara of planting the seed. He had never even been to Mayapur. But he took that instruction as his life and soul. Actually, Srila Prabhupada put so much emphasis on the Temple of Vedic Planetarium for reasons that have already been eloquently described by His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, His Holiness Shivaram Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj. To attract the world into the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Prabhupada told us Bhakti Vinod Thakur, on the order of Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, his Guru Maharaj, discovered Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace here in Mayapur. And Thakur Bhakti Vinod, an advocate, a scholar, a saint in every way. He went door to door, begging for people to help to build this beautiful temple of Lord Chaitanya to attract the people of the world to come to Mayapur. In that spirit of Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada has given us all the instruction to develop the Temple of Vedic Planetarium. Not only to build the building, but also to create a community of sincere, loving Vaishnavas that will attract the whole world's hearts to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. And truly, Srila Prabhupada has given this responsibility to each and every one of his followers. And to the extent each and every one of us take this responsibility very personally, we will feel Srila Prabhupada's presence and feel the miracle of his mercy manifesting through us as a movement. I don't believe Srila Prabhupada or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will allow this temple to be built and fulfill its true purpose unless we all do take this responsibility as our life and soul. Thank you very much.